This is Arkansas Roots on listener-supported radio, KASU. I'm Marty Scarborough. A songwriter roundtable will be held in the Ford Room of the Rector Museum, which is located at 310 South Main Street in Rector, on Thursday, August the 15th, beginning at 7. Museum, Joey Pruitt. Joey, welcome to KASU.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, for people who are not familiar with it, just tell us a little bit about the Rector Museum itself.
The Rector Museum is a small museum on Main Street of Rector, and we purchased some 3 buildings side by side, and one of the buildings is like 10,000 square feet. We had moved from a smaller 900 square feet room, I should say. Everything in the museum has a connection to the area of the school district, Rector School District. So if you go in and see a school desk, it's been used in the school district. We didn't just go to a flea market and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that kind of makes it unique. And everyone really appreciates that part of it. We actually, as of now, are just open by appointment only. But there's like a doorbell, and you push that doorbell, and it calls my phone. And there'll be somebody there within 10 minutes to take you in and give you a guided tour if you like.
And what are some of the things people might see or would see inside the museum? Tell me about more besides just beyond a school desk. Describe some of the other things.
Yeah, when you first walk in the door, there is a barber chair and a director's chair. And that barber's chair was used by Bill Clinton's barber, who was from Rector. That's, it's one of those things that shows that you can make it from a small town, He had a huge barber beauty shop there in Little Rock. And when Bill was Attorney General, he started doing his hair. And as time went on, we became president. There is a director's chair there, and these tools, barber tools, and a leather case. And when he would get a call and say, "Hey, the president's in Pennsylvania and needs a haircut," he'd grab that bag and that director's chair and would hop a flight to Pennsylvania and cut the president's hair. And so we have all that. And matter of fact, they went through the brush and got some of President Clinton's hair, So, but then we have the hanging noose from the last hanging in Greene County, and both the person who was murdered and the murderer were both from Rector. Leonard, that area,
Yeah.
And we have lots and lots of basketball and baseball memorabilia. We even have some of the old scorebooks going back to, I believe it's 1967. And lots of things. Yeah. And a great military display.
Yeah. Well, and again, you by appointment or you ring the doorbell, but it's free.
It is free. Yes, it is. Yes.
Right. Yes. And having been there, I can attest there's so much to see. It's worth making the trip to Rector.
Well, thank you. We're proud of it.
Well, we made reference to the Ford Room. Now, this is a performance space that's within the museum, correct?
Yes. Across the street from us was the Ford Theater, and it was our center of entertainment from 36 to 66. And so when I was a kid, it was where everybody went on Saturday night, Sunday afternoons. And when we were working on this, a guy said, "I still have the 2 columns that stood in front of the Ford Theater. Do you want them?" And so I don't know if you noticed them, but they're there on each side of the stage. And so because of that, we've dedicated this to the Ford Theater, and so we call it the Ford Room, and it is the center of entertainment there.
And you've had quite wide variety of entertainment there over the years.
Oh gosh, we have being an old musician. I know a lot of the entertainers, and so I chose to have our shows on Thursday night because these people would be free more, and so I've contacted everybody from, I hate to call names because I leave some out, but friends like Lori Dial, Shannon Freeman, Cory Jackson, Chad Garrett, and then lots of gospel. We had some group gospel concerts where we'd have several of the local gospel people, and then have congregational singing. And we did a Christmas show a couple years ago. Ken Wadley came and played piano for 2 hours doing Christmas songs. And we've even had magic shows, a couple of magic shows. Looking at doing a comic show soon. Soon as I figure out what nights we're having basketball in Rector. you got to choose your nights wisely, and it's just on and on.
It's a very unique performance space that fits very well. My guest today on KASU is Joey Pruitt, who's the director of the Rector Museum. And on Thursday night, August the 15th, there'll be a songwriters roundtable in the Ford Room of the Rector Museum. Okay, describe the format for this particular event, the Songwriter Roundtable.
Well, it's kind of the format of the Bluebird Cafe. In that you bring the artist in, songwriters, and they'll be sitting on stools up on the stage, and the first one will tell his story about the song, how it came about, what the meaning of the song, and then perform the song. And then the next artist will move to the next artist, and we'll have three artists. And they are, two of them are very well known. One of them is not, but I've heard him perform, and he's really, really good. And he, Jonathon Bevil, and he's actually the minister at the First Methodist Church in Rector, and but he does both poems and songs, and sometimes he uses the same lyrics for both, and he is funny. If you see if you see the poster, you'll see when I asked for a picture for his bio, that's what he sent to me, and he put for years now. I've enjoyed writing music and poetry. Since they're cousins, I don't always know if I'm writing lyrically that can be used for both. And so he's very, very interesting. And then we have Chad Garrett. And, Chad's been in Northeast Arkansas for years. He was on the Roundup for about 15 years and one of the lead artists of the Roundup. And then he started Chad Garrett and Friends that he has at the Collins in Perryville. And it's always, sellout crowd for that. And he will be one of the artists. And then Cory Jackson, everybody knows Cory, and just I'm just really thrilled that he's coming back to do this, and so his says I'm an independent singer, songwriter, and entertainer who showcases temporary compositions with storytelling performance. And if you've heard his songs, that's exactly what they are. They're storytelling. So it's there are a few people around here having these now, as we talked a while ago, and it's really going to be a neat, intimate performance.
Well, and I know performers like Chad and Cory and Jonathon, they like to do these sorts of events because they're not that common, and it gives them the opportunity to interact with other singer-songwriters like themselves.
Right. And all the artists that we've had, one of the things they like about our venue is that, you can almost reach out and touch the people. It only seats 100 people, and so you can have a conversation with the artist,
Yeah.
you know, and they love that. I remember Lori and I were talking, and she said that what she liked about the venue is that it was so intimate that she got to talk about time that she spent with, I think she said, her grandfather playing and singing, and she had never really gotten to tell that story because if you're at one of the dining places or whatever, you know, you got dishes clanging and forks hitting glasses, and here, you know, they're watching what you're doing, watching what you're doing. So,
Well, since it is such a small, intimate space, seating about 100, I'm sure tickets are probably going pretty quickly. How can people get tickets in advance?
you can get those tickets by calling me at 870-595-4053. General admission tickets are $10, and obviously you don't have to call me about those. But the reserve seating, we actually put your name on the seat, so you can just come right in and sit down. You know, if you're behind, you don't have to worry about not getting a good seat. We take them first serve, as they call me, and the reserve tickets are $20, and that number is 870-595-4053.
Well, do these concerts or does the Rector Museum itself have any kind of online presence, whether it's a Facebook page or a website?
We do. We do have a Facebook site, and we actually have a website too. It's www.rectormuseum.com.
Okay.
And the Facebook page is just Facebook is Rector Museum, and the Ford Room and the museum they both promote the events we have. So if you look at the museum, you can see some of the items we have too. So.
Okay. Well, it's worth the drive to Rector to see both the things at the museum and great events like this one, again, with Jonathon, Bevil, Chad Garrett, and Cory Jackson participating in a songwriter roundtable. Again, that's on Thursday, August 15th at 7 p.m. in the Ford Room of the Rector Museum, again, located at 310 South Main Street in Rector. My guest again today here on KASU, the director of the Rector Museum, Joey Pruitt. Joey, thanks for taking some time to come in and visit with me about this event. I know you're going to have a wonderful night of music and storytelling.
Well, and thanks for all your support, Marty. I appreciate that.